I work in business process management. I've been here for like a year or so. So yeah, that's it.
Cool. I think he was right. You guys better come in front so that everyone can see you. If that's okay.
Just
make
a circle.
I don't want to rearrange everything. So let's just have everyone come in front, please, if you don't mind. If you guys don't mind, join me. Those who are new here for the first time. Give a quick round of introductions, please.
Hi, I'm Alex. I've currently run Jaro last March.
Oh, nice.
And I believe we do one of the best performance marketing in this region.
Super.
Hey, my name is Claudio. I moved to Dubai 9 months ago, and I have 2 companies here, and I'm open for networking to new people, and that's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tatiana. I just moved to UAE 1 month back. I'm totally new here, and I work as a technical lead. And I'm planning to, I'm moving towards opening my startup. That's why I decided to join your community.
Super.
Hey, I'm Maher. I'm a fractional CTO in a travel company called Travisy. I moved to Dubai close to 3 years ago. I've been involved in startup ecosystem for a couple of years.
Hey everyone, I'm a CTO at Growth Access. So we help startup founders to understand the requirement, what they want to build, and we help them to plan the product right. Because it's not always about hiring your developers and just start coding. The planning of the product is very important. So that's we help.
Hello everyone, my name is Lilide. I'm here to network. I'm from the US. I'm trying to move to the UAE. I've been doing a lot of project management work in the US, so, well, hi everyone again.
Hi, my name is Mohammed. I'm a product marketing person. Good to meet you all. I also organize events for startup founders where we teach non-technical subjects to them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tatiana. I'm a founder of newly launched business in interior design. I'm making a constructor of interior design, so it's something in between of art and IT.
Super.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining us this evening. I'll let Maher take it over from here without delaying it any further. Please.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Wonderful. Today we're just going to have a conversation, just dialogue. We'll be presenting on public speaking, why it's an important tool, an important skill, and it's by far the most important if you're a founder, a business leader, or a visionary. For the next hour, we will go through some tips and secrets and some strategies. So I'm going to kindly, with your permission, request your undivided attention. Right? Your undivided attention. If I don't get your attention, something might slip, you might lose it, because that pesky little phone on the side went ding, ding. So kindly, I know we're all busy professionals, and we get lots of WhatsApps and emails and Facebooks and LinkedIn messages. So you just turn it off, pay attention. I would highly, highly appreciate it. Firstly, we always do a thank you. I want to thank all of you, each and every single one of you, for your time. Because time is the most elusive asset. You're exchanging it with me, so I appreciate it. I promise you we'll make it as valuable as possible for the next 1 hour. Is that okay? Yeah? Beautiful. I also want to thank N5 as well as Queenie. Queenie, where are you? Please give her a round of applause. for inviting me and asking me to come in to do this session. It's always a level of appreciation and gratitude.
Should we just close the doors?
You may. This is your session. It's not mine. If you'd like to close the door, that would be great. A little bit about me. I'm a professional speaker, author. My book is right here. It's on the subject of public speaking, the most exciting subject that everyone absolutely loves. If you can't tell already, I am so passionate about it to share everything I know about the skill, because truly, 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 if you embrace it, you apply it, you master it, the world is genuinely yours. I know I watched Scarface, that's the one. But a little bit of some of the logos that I worked with. I share this slide not to impress anyone, I promise you, but to impress upon you that some of the skills that I acquired and got me on some of the bigger stages, I will share with you today. Okay, is that all right? I was very, very lucky, very fortunate to have some wonderful mentors and coaches in my life, and taught me some indispensable pieces of wisdom and nuggets to help me become a better speaker, better communicator, better storyteller. And essentially, by leveraging all those, I was very fortunate to have that. And so today, we'll be sharing everything. Now, I love this slide as well. Who cares about me? I had a session with Mohammed before everybody came today. It's really about you, right? This session is about you. Everything for the next 1 hour is curated for you. So if you have pen and paper, that would be great. I know I told you I asked you to turn off your phones. If you need to use the phone for notes, feel free to do so. I have a big promise, big, bold promise. I'm going to show you how to unlock your potential as a speaker. And hopefully by the end of it, by the end of 1 hour, you've learned something to help you eradicate your fear. So when someone asks you, like today, why don't you come up here for 30 seconds and introduce yourself, what you do, you can come up here and do it with power and pizzazz. Icebreaker. Anytime you can talk about public speaking, the room is just, I don't want to speak today. Don't ask me to come up here. So, as you guys can see, stand up. If you don't mind, just to stand up. Just stretch a little bit. I know sometimes we sit down and our bodies can get clamped up. A beautiful piece of information, and hopefully you remember it, is your physiology changes your psychology. Changes your what? Psychology. So when you move your body, you're actually getting blood moving. So just stretch it out and shake it up a little bit. We're going to have some fun today. I promise you, it's just a fun session. So you guys can sit back down. That's okay. Thank you so much for your participation. I would like to just hear one or two answers from the audience. What are you hoping to learn from today's session? What are you hoping to learn from today's session? Anything. By the way, all answers are correct. This is a safe space. Remember, my name is Maher and I'm your friend. So it's okay. Yes?
I think confidence.
Confidence, beautiful.
Tactics.
Tactics, okay.
How to not speak like a robot.
How not to speak like a robot. Okay, we'll leave that to ChatGPT. Brilliant. Okay, anything else?
Public speaking process.
Public speaking process, excellent.
Power of voice.
Power of voice, yes.
How to be more inspiring when you're speaking.
More inspiring, brilliant. I love this, thank you guys. Yes?
Catching attention tips.
Catching attention tips.
Speak less.
How to make your legs and hands not to shake while speaking.
Okay, hopefully, so not to shake. Not to shake, yes my dear, all the way in the back.
Yeah, so how to speak amazingly if English is your, let's say, fourth language, right?
Brilliant. Fourth language, give a round of applause. Wow. I mean, English is my second language, but 4 languages, You should never be in any way, shape, or form ashamed or not confident about that. Like, believe it or not, you're 4 people in one. So be proudful. Yes, anything else? Alex?
How to prepare.
How to prepare. Brilliant. I think that's enough. I had it. Yes, you want to tell me. Yes.
Yes, jokes. Jokes.
Jokes.
I want to learn some jokes.
Okay, brilliant. Hopefully at the end of today's session, you will get some pieces to help you achieve some of those goals. All right? So let's begin. I want everybody to turn to somebody to the right, high five, and say, I'm going to learn something today. Come on, let me hear the energy. Yes. Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. There's an air 5 right there. Brilliant. Yes, let's do it. We're going to learn something today. Okay. Thank you guys. For the next 50 minutes. There we go. Look at, that's the energy. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I know it's Friday. It's like, what, 77 degrees outside? So thank you guys for participating. Today's session, we're going to talk about managing your fear, anxiety, like the professionals do it. And we're going to learn some secrets of structuring your speech.
Oh, wow.
That's called alliteration, right? Some structures to help you on the spot when someone asks you to speak that you could use so you can deliver a cohesive message so it can land onto the audience's ear, the listener, maybe it's a venture capitalist, whoever it is, for it to be most importantly clear and cohesive. So we're gonna start with managing your fear. Managing your fear. You guys realize why I use the word manage, right?
You cannot eliminate it.
Exactly. You will never eliminate fear. Never. You'll never do it. Believe me, before everybody came here, oh, my heart was racing. And I've given hundreds of presentations, thousands in a room, every single time. 5 people, 10 people, 15, 50, 80, 300, 700, 1,000 people. It's the same level of quote unquote fear or anxiety. I don't know if anyone's heard this, but fear is an acronym. I'm going to share this piece with you. It's false evidence appearing real. Any objections, Your Honor? You guys got it? Now, it's not maybe literal acronym, but it's a methodology. It's a frame of thinking that I want you to embrace, to apply, to utilize when you speak. When you come up here, there's fear. It's not real. No one has guns. No one has knives. No one's out there to hurt you. You guys get my point? That's why I use the word manage. Let's utilize the ARC acronym. ARC. Very simple. For the visuals, there's an arc there, so you can remember it. And yes, as long as you're not on LinkedIn, or Instagram, or Facebook, feel free to take those notes down. Because there's one thing that is very, 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 very painful for any speaker. To share some information, and it never gets applied. So please, I highly encourage not only for you to take notes, but when you go home tonight, teach it to your spouse, to your friend, to your son, to your daughter, to your friend, because in teaching, you learn. A, acknowledge. Acknowledge that fear and anxiety is normal. Is what? Normal. One more time? Normal. I want to normalize it. Right? It's okay if you feel afraid, your heart's racing, your gut is churning. right? You're just feeling all this anxiety, like, I don't want to go speak. I don't want to do it. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst? I would love to hear just the thought process. And I'll share my story with you guys later. But I'd just like to hear from you, because again, this session's about you. What's the... Yes?
Somebody throw tomato on me.
Somebody throw a tomato. Beautiful. Okay. Show of hands. Who has a tomato with them today? No one? So no one has a tomato. So that fear, is it real?
Well, it's
Okay.
partially real. Actually, it's partially real.
It can be.
It can happen well without tomatoes, but maybe people will start attacking you, that you're having something that they are against or something.
Brilliant.
So I
Okay.
had this
That's a
experience.
beautiful point. She said, for those who didn't hear, that you may say something that makes somebody feel attacked. And that's probable. It's not literal. It won't happen every time. Right? As a speaker, I've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I've shared pieces of information that don't always or necessarily fall onto the ears of the audience or audience member the way they wanted. Now, how do we circumvent? How do we circumvent? Like, how do we get around that?
Being more clear.
Being clear. What you do is, you pick up the phone, you speak to Queenie. Hi, Queenie. Can you tell me a little bit more about the audience? Their avatar. What do they do? Their intelligence, graduated, are they grade 5, grade 3? Like, just give me an idea of who I'm going to be speaking to. Always do this. And for the vast majority of the time, you will have an idea who you're speaking to. And as the speaker, it is your responsibility to curate messages for your audience. And by doing so, you will never eradicate fear. Instead, you will manage it. Does that communicate? Yeah? So some of these things, they're warranted. The fear, okay, it's correct, it's there. However, one of the ways to circumvent is to study the audience, understand who they are, and to also speak, to just do it. Fear itself eradicates itself when you go through it. When you do the very thing that scares you. I'll share an anecdote with you. Come back with me, 2016. That was the year. I took my wife to the cenotes. For those, are you familiar with the cenotes, Mexico? So there's like big, massive pools and big cliffs to go on a little excursion for the day. And we get to this 55-foot cliff jump.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's what, 5 stories, maybe 6 stories? I don't know, to help put it in perspective. There's a lineup of people are jumping as if like there's no fear. Now, I've never jumped from a cliff. It's not like I do it. But this is the fear part, right? Like, just bear with me here. It's the fear part that we're talking about. I get to the cliff. Whew, I look down. That's about a 3-second jump. I'm going, honey, I don't know. This is, you know what? The hell with it. I'm just gonna jump. And you know what happened? 1 second, my heart was about to come out of my chest, and I landed in the water, and it was the most liberating feeling I've ever had in my life.
So you landed properly.
Thank God. I landed properly. I wanted to do it again. I still felt the fear, but I managed it this time, and I did it in spite of it, and I jumped into the water, and I did it one more time. Now, who didn't do it? My lovely wife.
Push up?
I didn't. I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed. Her name is Valeria. Tell her, honey, Valeria, come on, you can do it. She would look, she can't. Paralysis. And you know, I could also challenge the situation and tell you it's a warranted fear, right? She's scared. Thankfully, there's no tomatoes or someone, you know, doing anything to hurt her. But you know, those are factual. Like she can hurt herself. But here's the thing. She never did it. I did it 3 times, and a number of people did it for us. And I went home, and to this day, 2016, 2024, it's 8 years that it's been since that moment. And she always tells me, I wish I jumped. I just wanted to see what it was like. So the next time you get asked to speak, go for it. Just go for it. It doesn't have to be right. Yes?
I just wanted to then ask, then it's not normal what you said, that it's liberating. That fear and anxiety, you said over there it's normal, right?
Yeah.
If we actually perceive ourselves that fear is liberating, embrace the fear, and then being able, like you said, your story, wouldn't that be where you
Fear
go for it?
itself, that's a good point. Just so I'm clear, fear itself is not the liberating part. Right?
To liberate yourself.
It's the medium to help you feel liberated. Does that make sense? Like after you do something that you're very scared of, you feel liberated. And I'm sure most of you in this room have done something you were scared to do, right? A show of hands? Okay, beautiful. Like the whole room. And how does that feel when you did the very thing that you were scared to do? What was the feeling right after? Amazing. It's, it wasn't as scary as I thought. Again, in the context of speaking. In the context of speaking. That's all I'm talking about. That's all I'm referencing. Yes?
I'd like to point out that everybody in their life, everybody of us is lost in the life. So it's normal to fear anxiety. Like we think like we put a halo on, like for example, I see you, I think you are like you and other people that they can speak very easily. But we all are like that. We all like have fear, as you said earlier. We all like that. So it's the liberating part is knowing that everybody is lost in life, not only you. Thinking only you is not able to do public speaking is the one that confuses everybody.
Well, you know, maybe this is a perfect segue. Can I share with you my story on public speaking? Is that with your permission? Yeah? Okay. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Right here, 2017. End of the year, 2017. My wife gets me some tickets to go to a seminar. I attend the seminar. Just to fast forward, I meet this lady. She said, I heard you want to be a speaker. Have you ever attended Toastmasters? Anyone know Toastmasters here? Okay, great. So a lot of you do know. Excellent. For those who don't, it's an association that helps aspiring speakers and leaders to begin their journey as a baseline. So we exchanged contacts. Found myself, February 14, 2018, Valentine's Day, 7:30, Wednesday. I remember it like it was yesterday. Session came up called Table Topics. For those who know Toastmasters, it's where you get asked a question on the spot. You have to answer for about 2.5 minutes. For those who don't, it's literally a question unprepared. They ask you, and you just have to do it. So I'm in this session, sitting probably 3rd row. Table topic master says, now remember, it's 50 people in the room, 50. And I was thinking, where's everybody? Like, it's Valentine's Day. I mean, is everybody this committed? Nevertheless, 3rd row, her name is Monica. She said, gentleman in the blue blazer, can you come up here and participate? Oh my God. As I'm walking up, I can just feel, I kid you not, I can feel my heart literally coming out of my chest. Never done it before. Never done speaking. I'm a sales professional, done it one-on-1, one-on-3, done it on Cisco WebEx. This is before Zoom, by the way. She said, it's very easy a question. Are you ready? And I said, okay, sure. Mind you, my heart is coming out of my chest. She looks to her right and she says, roses are red, violets are blue. Tell us more about you. She sits back down and I'm standing in the middle like this. Go like this. And I can feel, I'm not joking. My spine was cascading with sweat. You guys know that feeling? A cascade. My ears redder than a tomato. And everyone's looking at me. And I just scanned the room, blanking. I completely blanked. I didn't know what to say. I think one of the biggest things that occurred when I reflect was, how can I come up here and talk about myself? It's a very arrogant thing to do. So I sat back down. I apologized. I said, I'm sorry, everyone. I sat back down. And I remember even as I'm walking back to the seat, a lady said, anything, just come up. I said, I'm sorry. And I sat back down. Now, I don't remember the rest of the session. I don't know who spoke after me, what happened. I was in my head. You guys know that feeling? You're just in your head. And I felt humiliated, disappointed, dejected. I remember just putting my hand on my forehead and saying, dude, two things can happen right now. Those are the two clearest thoughts. Two things can happen. One, you go home, tell your wife, honey, I bombed it, and you shut up, you don't tell anybody. That's it. She can throw it in your face for the rest of your life. I can live with that. Or two, become the greatest speaker that I can be. Not better than John or John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, for those who know Tony Robbins. These are all masterful speakers. Not be like any of them, just be the best I can be. And I ran to the vice president of membership that day and I said, sign me up. Sign me up, I'll do it. And from that day, every Wednesday I would show up. I signed up to another Toastmasters, so I got Wednesdays and Saturdays. I'm doing 2 sessions. I'm flying through these speeches. Every Monday meeting, I said to my sales manager, I would like to speak. I'll report on last week. That's fine. I read every book I could. I got coaching. I hired 2, Dr. Peter Legg and Patricia Fripp, who, after many years, wrote the foreword to my book. She's the former president of the National Speakers Association. So when you invest in yourself and you just keep doing it. And 1 year later, I got invited for this international contest, and I won. The club, area, the division. I won the provincial public speaking championship. I beat out like 5,000 people. I couldn't believe my journey. But you know what I realized? The trophy at the end of it was the result of a decision that I took a year earlier. And that's what I implore you to do. All of you are founders, directors, managers, business leaders. All of you are going to be put in a position to speak. If you don't do it, the cost of inaction is severe. And it was the very act of doing it that helped me to manage, acknowledge there's going to be fear along the way. But that was the feeling of liberation. Does that answer? Do you get my point? And thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. It's just to help you realize that anybody can do this. It's a big vertical that everybody can and can succeed if you choose to do it. Fair enough?
I think it will not be a professional public speaker within day and night. It's like a progressive journey. Like it's like you can like after like as you said since 2018 now you reflect back in your back self. You see how much I changed, how much I became more professional, more better at public speaking. So it's like a reflect of your journey.
I think the biggest thing is understanding that public speaking is not a destination, right? There's no like finale to it. Not just public speaking, like for you entrepreneurs here, it's not like I get to 1 million ARR and I get to fold my business and go home on a vacation. Sometimes that's the commencement. That's where it begins. You guys get my point? It's a journey to keep going and on and on and on and on, which leads me to say, see the fear part, reframe your thinking. It's a framework. The mindset, whatever your mind is set on, has to change. So allow me to introduce a fresh idea. Fear and anxiety is the same frequency of energy and excitement. So I can come here before the arrival of you and think to myself, oh my God, I'm gonna bomb today. I'm so scared, and succumb to the feeling. Or I can get so excited to share this piece of information with you so I can leave you the best I can. See, it's a mindset. Get excited. Like, can't wait to share your idea, your vision, your story, your business. You can't wait to do it. You're so excited to do it. If Step calls you, run. Go get that speaking engagement and do it. If Leap does it, get on a plane, go to Saudi Arabia and do it. I know you're scared. I know your heart's racing. But when you do it, and you do it, and again, and again, and you keep doing it over and over and over and over, you'll stand on any stage and give any idea with power, with passion, and with pizzazz. You guys get my point? Is that? Yes? Yeah. Beautiful. Just one more time. Fear and anxiety, 2. Yes. You guys have to say excitement with excitement. Can you say that? Excitement. Yes. Go. Yes. And recognize, guys, this is very, very, very important that you're not the only one that feels this. We all do. I promise you. I've sat down with magnificent speakers. Dr. Peter Legge has written over 15 books and earns over $1 million in speaking fees. Claudio asked me earlier today, why is your book called Million? I know Claudio, by the way, when I'm mocking him this way, he's a friend of mine. Why is your book called $1 Million Speaker? $1 Million Speaker is symbolic to those who've earned $1 million or more in speaking fees. That's how good they are. How many of you here would like to, I don't know, get on a stage, 45 minutes, earn $30,000? Right? $30,000? 30,000 dirhams? 1 hour. That's a good fee. Remember, you're not being paid for that 1 hour. Peter told me you're not being paid for that 1 hour. You're being paid for the experiences and the years that you put in up until that 1 hour. Make sense? So just realize that this whole idea of fear in public speaking, everybody in the world has it. Everybody. Some people claim they would rather be in the casket than actually give the eulogy. That's the fear of public speaking. It's the #1 fear. Right? I know. It's funny.
I have a
yes.
question, right? So it's not the fear of the act itself, right? It's the fear of your own expectation. Like you get a chance and you don't make the best use of it. That is one thing. Second thing is the fear of being judged by others. I think this definitely...
Beautiful. For those who didn't hear, especially the latter, is the fear of being judged by others. Okay? With your permission, allow me to introduce something fresh. Everybody all the time is judging. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a joke to it that even cats judge.
Even cats judge.
You can't please everybody.
Right? Exactly. So I'll tell you, whether I came today in a suit jacket or a gym t-shirt, I'm being judged. We're always running a narrative. See, you're never, as a speaker, you're never going to want to change anyone's thinking. You're not, because change is like you're yanking somebody's belief system and saying you have to come to mine. No. You introduce fresh ideas for them to think about, and they can ponder and choose whether to apply it or not. So, as a speaker, business leader, visionary, entrepreneur, people are judging your application, your website, whether you like it or not. Whether you have an accent or you don't. My wife has an accent. She, till this day, battles, thinking they're judging me on my accent. I'm like, as opposed to not speaking English at all, she speaks English, she can deliver, there's a message, it's cohesive, she knows what she's talking about. And that goes to all of you, accent or not. You guys get my point? That you're gonna have to do it because you're gonna have to do it anyway. As opposed to not doing it and leaving money, opportunity, ideas, so on and so forth on the table. Make sense? Yeah? Remember, we're going through the ARC acronym. R is to remember that it's okay if you bomb. It's okay if you. 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 Okay, when a bomb falls, it doesn't sound like that. It's okay if you. Yes. Why am I doing this? Why did I repeat? Because it's okay if you come up here and flop. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You go back to my situation a couple years ago. I bombed it. No one is thinking, by the way, that he bombed it. Might be for a few seconds, and off to the next thought. I'm the one thinking I bombed it. Do you guys get the point? I may be popping some bubbles, not bottles. See, I just bombed it. I just bombed it, right? It's okay. I forgot what I was gonna say. That's bombing it. Anyone judging me? It's okay. So my point here is, everyone will maybe bomb it. I'm the one thinking, oh man, I bombed it. Now what bombing it does to you is it teaches you what to do next time to master it. How many of you here will learn more from their failures than successes? Everybody. Has success taught you anything? Not really. Maybe a post or two on Instagram. Right? Like, that's the truth. You put the highlights. But until people know the setbacks and the failures, you look back and you say, that's what taught me. When someone said no to my proposal, well, I learned it was because of A, B, C, D. I went and I applied it and I got the next one. Make sense? So I want to just normalize this idea of bombing and making mistakes. Nobody's perfect. You're always subject to making mistakes. Yes?
I want to point out that time, everybody forgets throughout time. For example, I remember in middle school, I went to do a presentation and I messed up so badly. Like that was like in 2007. Like I asked my friend, my two colleagues, like we was classmates in the school, do you remember this? They said they don't remember it. I am only one to remember it.
Exactly, and that's the thing, like, to reiterate that time will heal, will resolve all the challenges that you will go through in your journey, so to speak. I do want to remind you that it's okay of the failure. This is the important one here. Can someone tell me the difference? Can someone spot the difference here? Just take a second. Anyone spot the difference?
So this is the earth before you speak, and this is the earth after you fall.
Give her a round of applause. Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
This is one of the greatest perspectives that I want you to keep when you give a talk, about to give a talk, and so on. This is when you made a mistake, and this is after you made the mistake.
Life goes on.
The world rotates.
Well, I can spot a difference.
Okay?
There's a cursor on the right.
There's a cursor on the right. I mean,
bingo.
Also, there's a link on the right.
There's a link, yes. Slip it in there. Yes.
Just playing devil's advocate.
Play devil's advocate. I love that. Sure.
Before and after, if you actually talk about some leaders who made mistakes through making bad speeches, the world might not be the same after. They might come about some conflicts, some things, stuff like that. That's right.
Brilliant. Okay, and for those who didn't hear, he said leaders before and after the world isn't necessarily the same.
And they are the ones who are orators.
You're right. And allow me to say this, with your permission. Context. I'm speaking in the context of being at STEP, being at LEAP, right? Like, do you get this is between me and you right now. And so I answer your question. It's about the context, right? Of course, I'd have to know my audience. If I have Putin in the audience, I wouldn't tell him, hey, Mr. Putin, just to let you know, the earth is the same before and after. Or, hey, Donald, what about you, Donald? You walk around and say, I'm the Donald. I won Wisconsin. I won Wisconsin. Wisconsin chose me. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm Donald. I'm the Donald. Right? You guys get my point? Good. Laughter is always good. So context, right? You are 1,000% correct. Depending on the context that I'm speaking about, the world can change before and after a speech. But keep things in perspective for those who have a fear that want to speak. Is that fair? Is that fair? We can talk about it after. Yes, brilliant. And finally, to wrap up the ARC acronym, is to calm yourself. Right? Just calm yourself. Speaking in general, after you've learned how to do it, and you've shared a passionate message, can calm, can give you a sense of calm. It's an emotional currency. Not necessarily a financial one, it could be also, I feel good about this. So again, I want to double down. They're very simple philosophies, not necessarily easy, right? They're simple to grasp. And the only way they will work is for you to try them, test them, and see if my theory is right or wrong. And that's completely fair. Right? It's completely fair. Go out and try this. I was talking to Mohammed earlier. I said it's one of the greatest pains for any communicator for you to deliver a message to an audience and it's never applied. There was no call to action and it was never applied and tested and what have you. So it's very, very important that test those theories. I'm encouraging you, a gentleman is asking me about the context of the earth before and after. Very valid point. There is no objection to it. We're going to do a very quick exercise, if you guys don't mind. We're going to just inhale and exhale. Just do it one more time. Beautiful. Thank you for your participation, genuinely, throughout this. This is something every speaker is encouraged to do before speaking. If you're asked to come up and speak, for example, just imagine for a second you're at STEP and you're sitting down, grab the microphone, they ask you a question, you don't have to answer right away. You don't have to answer within a second. Just put the mic. Thank you for that question, and proceed. Give your mind time to recollect the thoughts that you want to put together by giving it oxygen. Right? These are some very basic, fundamental, simple strategies to help you curb and manage the fear. And what is life without breathing? Get a little philosophical, right? So just remember to do it. Just remember to breathe before you speak. No one's going to punish you for that. Right? Like, these are ideologies that sometimes we feel if someone asks me a question, I have to answer right away. Sometimes you do know the answer, great. You'll be confident, it will show. And if you don't, take a deep breath. You can also say, I don't know. Let me get back to you. Right? You don't always have to know everything about everything. That's how the confidence, I know one of the things that you were hoping to learn is confidence. Sometimes you get asked a question, you feel like, oh, if I don't give the right answer, I'm not confident. Well, confidence is really how you handle it. Well, just take a step back and say, good question. I don't know. Well, let's find out. I'll get back to you. Let's exchange numbers, and I'll get the answer for you. Is that fair? Like,
it shows you're authentic.
Yeah. You know, again, like, I'm encouraging you to embrace these moments because speaking is a privilege. It's always a responsibility. So honor it. And always, always put the idea that I'm going to leave them better than I found. I'm going to just give my best. And I can live with the result. We just did this exercise. Here's a quick summary. So A is for acknowledging, right? We're going to acknowledge that anxiety and fear is normal. We're going to remember that it's okay to bomb. It's okay to what?
Bomb.
It's okay to?
Bomb.
And finally, just to calm yourself before an opportunity to speak. Is that all fair enough? Yeah? Beautiful. Just a very quick check-in. Just take a moment to think about how you would apply this in your life, your opportunities that come up for you to speak. Just think about it. Part 2 is learning the structure of putting a speech together. Who wants to learn that? We have some very, very good strategies. But first, let's take a 5-minute break. And let's reconvene, because I know sometimes sitting through a whole thing for 1 hour or something could be too much. So let's all get up, move your body. You guys getting a coffee, water? Yes?
We can get some food.
I believe this way to the right there's a cafe bar. Yes. Just 5 minutes.
I think that's the problem. We should have done this. It's always been like more than 5 minutes.
Yes. And that's it. It's a great place. Seem like they're you guys Quick check-in, all good? Enjoying the session? Thank you so much. Are you enjoying the session?
Sorry, I was.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. I was here last year. I have my Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys enjoyed? Okay. Hopefully you enjoy the second one.
Tamam, alhamdulillah.
Yes, no, we have 2 minutes device time, which is yes. We have to start. Yes, my dear. Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. Thank God for Google Chat. Yeah, okay, good.
Everything's fine. Life is not stuck.
Снимай.
Зачем? I know with government, like I know deals with government work. That's fine. I want to buy for.
Be very careful. Be very careful. Very, very careful. Make sure the demographic is variety, right? Some sessions you find just exclusive for government, which could help receive you. Yeah. Yeah, right. And that's why
How are you? You're going Amazon River? Yeah? Yeah, he was MVP for the under-9s for
but one thousand, I have to.
Testing. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, because I will not use the microphone, I will use my voice. Can everybody take a seat, please? Take a seat, please. We'll have plenty of networking after. We'll have plenty of networking sessions, one-on-ones, two-on-twos, and four-on-fours. We're gonna have group sessions, of course. Please, everyone take a seat. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Right? Okay, and also one request was given to me at the break session. If everyone can just try to come in as close as you can, 1 or 2 seats front, I would be highly, highly appreciated. And so the in-5 people can, I promise I will not pick on you. I promise.
Maybe in 5.
No.
Maybe it's Bombay.
Yes. Remember, my name is Maher, and I'm your friend.
That's what they all say.
That's what they all say. I'm your friend. Well, I'm scared now because of those biceps.
It's all fake, man, don't worry.
It depends on the intent of the person.
Look, I'm just here to have a conversation. Is that fair? Just a conversation.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just a conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Really, really appreciate it. Is that everybody? Queenie? Okay. We'll give them 1 more minute and we'll begin session number 2. Secrets of structuring your speech. No need for that. Is that a good break? Yeah. Yes? Got the blood moving. Some coffee for session number 2. Yes?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you guys all genuinely. Cold? I know. In the middle of the desert, huh? 49 degrees outside and it's cold. It's true. Blame the AC. Okay. We can start, right? Yes? Okay. Okay, beautiful. Let's start. Part 2 is about 30 or so minutes. We're going to discuss 2 proven ways. I'm not going to give 3, 4, 5, or 7. There are plenty out there. These are 2 that I feel can be easily implemented, easily remembered, applied, tested. Just test it as well. You can feel free to take out your phones and take those notes down. Again, I really encourage you not just to come attend a session to just listen, but also take down notes and then go home and reflect. And then just see, like, maybe this was good, maybe I don't need to use this one, or maybe what does he mean by this? Maybe I can go try this. And the more you reflect, the easier it is for you to assimilate, to remember, and then go out and apply it. Because once the session does come up and someone's asking you to speak, you will know it, right? Information becomes knowledge, then implementation becomes expertise. So just apply it, then become expert. Okay? Number 1, this is by far one of my favorites. It's the first secret. It's called the what, so what, now what. Right? We can also break it down on stage. We can go the what, we can go so what, then we become, or say, now what. Okay? It helps you break it down into 3 pieces. For some reason, the mind can chunk things in 3, right? Some of you have heard it or know about this fact. This helps you structure it. Very simple. Okay? Is it? Yes?
Can you give an example?
Yes, yeah, we're going to get into it. Can someone close the door? That's okay. We're going to get into an example. The what is discussing your idea, right? I have an idea, my point, product, maybe a service. That's the what part. Okay. You guys taking pictures or notes? Let me know in case you need anything. We will go into a summary as well. The so what is the why. Why is it important? It's a very simple thing. If you're coming late to the office, if you say, I'm late, someone will ask you, first question is why, right? So it's sometimes powerful to give your point, discussion, or describe something, and then go into the because, right? I love the sunshine. Very, very simple point. That's the what. I love sunshine. Well, so what? Because, see now it becomes cohesive. You're giving it a structure. And then you go, now what? You give the finale or the call to action. I love the sunshine because I love spending time with my family. It allows me to go to the beach. Now what? Therefore, next week, we've arranged to go to the beach together and enjoy the time. Very simple. Like, I'm not going to get to the nitty-gritty. You guys can think about it, contemplate how you can use it and apply it in your pitching or your conversations and your meetings. But I believe I did something right here to discuss. So discuss the topic, why it matters, and the practical implications, or the call to action. So the what part is our sales figures have declined by 20% last quarter. Let's just take that as an example. Our sales figures have declined. Maybe you're in a meeting. Okay, that's the what part. Hey, Mr. Boss, hey, manager, hey, co-founder, our sales are down. So now what? Right? It's not in line because now you're explaining the ideology. It's not in line with our quarterly targets, and it's affecting our revenue projections. So what? So what? And then now you give your call to action or your solution. Well, maybe we need to implement a new marketing strategy, a sales strategy to help us or enhance our sales training to get to this or improve the trend. Does that make sense? Yeah, is that like coming together for you guys? Yeah? I'm gonna go back into the refresher. I wanna make sure that this is one of the ways that you guys can use. You're not going to be an expert at it right off the bat, right? Some of the best ways to do it is to have some things in the back pocket. Take these notes. You're reflecting, okay, maybe I want to discuss a topic, my business idea. Stick that on the fly, right? I have a business idea. I want to implement a storage facility in a building, right? Just, that's the what. I want to implement a storage facility in a building. So what? Because I realized, or based on research, I found that there's a shortage in the city for storage facilities. I'm finding people, friends, family, colleagues asking me, hey, do you know where I can store extra furniture, what have you? Now what? Based on this theory, or this idea, and what I've discovered, I'm looking for assistance in research to help me make a case and to raise some funds for the next finance week. Does that communicate? Yeah? So very simple. We can do it on the fly. The more and more you practice it, the easier and easier it becomes. Very simple. Not easy, simple. This is a formula that you can, on the spot, use and implement when the situation comes up. Just a moment of reflection. If you guys ever realize I love to reflect. I think reflection is a powerful, powerful tool. Here's another one. the second part of the structure is the prep formula. Prep formula is very simple, very easy to remember, and can be used in any situation, literally on the fly. Some of the best speakers, elite speakers, will use it when they're asked on the spot. It's an acronym that stands for point. Okay? You begin by discussing your point. Then you give a reason for that point, or your rationale. Then you give an experience or give an example to help illustrate. And then you reiterate the point. Does that make sense? Yeah? So point, reason, example, point. Let's try that again. I have a point I'd like to make. I am looking to, let's get the storage facility again. I believe I need 5 acres of space for a storage facility because, right, I'm giving a reason, a rationale, because I found that when tourists come, they're shipping their entire homes to Dubai, and when they're Airbnb-ing, they have nowhere to place their furniture. Right, just as an example here. I'm giving my rationale. Example or experience, I can say, let me give you an example. My brother flew in. You can give an anecdote, you can give a story. My brother flew in. He's moving from Vancouver. He has a 4-bedroom home. And when he landed in Dubai, obviously, he needed to find a space or an apartment or a home, but didn't find something in time. So he picked up the phone and called me and said, "Hey Maher, do you know some agent, commercial real estate agent, to help me store my furniture in this facility?" Agent said, "We don't have such a thing in Dubai." Right? So my brother looked at me and said, "Now what?" Come back to the point. So having said that, I'm looking to raise X amount, or I have this idea in place and I'm looking for this because of this. Does that communicate? Yeah? Like, is that making sense for you guys? Yeah. Very easy, the prep formula. Point, reason, example, just reiterate the point. Okay? We are coming to the end of today's session. Oh, I know. Right? I just gave you guys an example here, but I'd like to do a summary of what we discussed. Right? So we went through the ARC acronym to help with managing your fear and anxiety. What's A stand for? Acknowledgement. For those who have forgot, the cheat sheet's literally on the board. Okay? So, A is for? Like, let's all say it together. A is acknowledge the. Okay, we all have to do it together in symphony. Right? In symphony. Can we do it together? Like, is that all right? Because we're going to end this session, so I want to end it with a bang. Is that okay? Not a bomb. Okay? So A is acknowledge anxiety and fear. That's normal. Right? And then remember it's okay to make mistakes. Remember it's okay to make mistakes. And finally, calm yourself down. Beautiful. We went over the
what, so what, now what.
Louder.
What, so what, now what.
One last time.
What, so what, now what.
Beautiful. And then finally, the prep formula. Exactly, I don't have a cheat sheet, so let's test the memory here. This is literally the last thing we did. Yes?
Point,
reason, experience, point, reiterate.
Yes. Beautiful. Well done. Right? These are very simple strategies, tools, tricks at your disposal so you could use any time. The biggest thing is to take these notes and go out and apply them. Right? These are just as good as theory right now until you apply them. That's the biggest thing I can say is you can come here, enjoy the session, it can be entertaining, you can have fun, you can network, listen to a few things, and then if you don't do it, it's gone. It's a fleeting idea, and then the fear still remains because you haven't learned to manage it. You go out there and apply some of the information that you learned. Is that fair enough? Yeah?
Yes.
Beautiful. Always a call to action. Always, always call to action. And this is more so for you guys as well when you're pitching and speaking to an investor or a co-founder, to always ask the listener or the audience to do something at the end. If you don't do it, in Arabic it's like haram, right? And the thing is, if all the information that you guys learned, if you don't go out there and apply it and do whatever it takes to improve yourself, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna leave you with something, maybe two things. There's a philosophy that I'm obsessed with. Yes, I love that one. You know, it's like, what? You're obsessed with philosophy? Like, I want to hear this. I'm genuinely obsessed with it. I'd love to share it with you. If you really apply it, it can catapult your business on a personal and professional level. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and your job will take care of itself. Okay? Work harder on yourself. You are the greatest asset. You're the greatest asset. It is you, not your business. Nothing else matters in life. It is you. You're the creator, you're the architect, you're the one putting the places in place, you're putting the strategies, running the operations. It is you. Right? So to be a versatile entrepreneur, to succeed, sharpen that toolbox in every way you can. And one of which I am adamant about is communication. Especially in a public setting. The amount of times I attend conferences, a founder gets up to speak. How many of you doze off? And just, seriously, when you guys go to Leap, and be honest, right? Like, the thing is, if we don't genuinely attack the very thing we want to change and destroy that obstacle or challenge, we're never going to get over it. So I genuinely want to challenge you all. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious about it. I get brought into Techstars, Hub 71. I've done some training for them. Their storytelling, the body language, the vocal variety. They had individuals potentially going up to Abu Dhabi Finance Week. There are some VCs up there ready to give $200,000 in what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes. How many here would like $200,000 in 2 minutes? It's $100,000 in 1 minute. Just a show of hands. That's one heck of an ROI. Is it not? So, how could you not work on it? How could you not work on it? How could you just leave it and say, I will not work on my public speaking, my storytelling, my ability to communicate, to deliver? All of you are here for that reason, right? So I implore you, some of the strategies I applied and shared, great. Go out there and use them. The using part, like prep, right? Remember, arc, okay, I have fear, I have to manage it, I have to go through it. That's really what it is. Right? What? Okay, so what? Now what? Great. Now I have the formula. Someone asks me, a founder or a VC asks me, well, how much are you looking for? That's what really VCs are. They have money, they're looking to invest it in businesses. You have to be able to articulate, put it together and share it with them and say, I have an idea, right? I have a vision, I have something here. I want to now manifest it, bring it into the real world. Right? Bruce Lee, I believe, said it. There's 2 ways to manifest. One is to write it down, because it's first here. First write it down, or speak it. Those are the only two ways you can manifest. Any objections? Right? So everybody knows how to write it and put it down. Okay, I can sit down. But what about the speaking part? Nail it. Nail it. You can do it. I promise you can. One more piece of nugget is the big philosophy. Big philosophy. Super simple. Another acronym, B-I-G. What is it? B-I-G. Very simple. We'll start with the B. That's the books you read. B is the books you read. Peter Thiel, I think he has 0 to 1. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. He has this blue ocean strategy, I believe, something like this, right? Now, he's been through multiple businesses. Well, he put his wisdom and expertise in that 200-page book. Been there 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. He gave it to you in 200 pages. You can probably sit through it 3 days. You get 15 years of wisdom in 3 days. So the books you read, every single question in your mind is available in a book. The answer is available in a book. You don't have to read them from page to the last page, but you could use them. Look for the answer in the book. Is that understood? Fair? Yes. And then I is the individuals you meet. The individuals you meet. You guys ready for this one? Are you guys ready for this one?
Yeah.
The more hands you shake, the more millions you make.
I agree with this statement.
Okay? This was shared with me very early by our Senior Vice President of Sales, Michael Valentine. He mentioned, man, the key to success in any sales situation or to sell anything is the more hands you shake, the more millions you make. It doesn't have to be instant. Like, I get it. Amazon Prime, I need the product before I even hit buy now. I need it now, right? But the idea of the more hands you shake, the more millions you make is it gives you an opportunity. Not every handshake will get you a million, but the more you do, the better your chances. Probability. So it's the individuals you meet. And also, always look for the people where you want to be or where you want to go. I was asked in the break about coaching, if it's recommended. Absolutely get coaching and mentorship. If it requires money, great. Wait until you understand and see the cost of not having one. Right? I've been genuinely, I say this, like, I was abysmal when I began public speaking. I was abysmal. Like, terrible. I bombed it. Dr. Peter Legge and Patricia Fripp, I always will salute them. Patricia Fripp would look at my speech when I'd send it to her, and she would like, kill the babies. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Every sentence you write in your speech is a baby, because it's yours. She's like, kill them. It won't resonate. But that's what a coach does. They introduce a new way of thinking. Because clearly, the original way didn't get me to where I wanted to go. Make sense? Mm-hmm. And then finally, the G is the goals you set. The goals you set, right? The books you read, the individuals you meet, and the goals you set. You can't hit a target you can't see. You just can't do it. You can't hit a target you can't see. Right? So set goals. Sure, they might be short-term, could be long-term. I was talking to Claudio before, and he said something really nice and it resonated. He said, America thinks in decades. Just think about that. They think in decades. They don't think in 1 year or 1 quarter. Right? It's good to have quarterly goals because they help you get to the finale or the big goal, the big vision. But remember, they think in decades, so they're big goals. So what's the big philosophy?
Books.
Yep. Excellent. Can we get a little bit more energy? Okay, B. I. And. Beautiful. I hope genuinely that these have introduced a fresh idea for you to ponder and think about, for you to apply and test. You guys can all find me on Instagram and LinkedIn and shoot me a message maybe in here and say, Maher, you're absolutely wrong. You're horrible. Everything you said was wrong. We never want to hear you ever again.
Also, you can if you put something unique or special in your speech, it will give you something to remember. For example, when I said the tomatoes, everybody will remember this tomato.
Exactly. Yes. Hopefully they're organic though. We do have a Q&A, right, Queenie?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. I know we had some questions throughout, and I really appreciate the interactions. Did you guys enjoy the session?
Yeah.
Say wallah. I would be very happy to take any questions. Yes?
You do one question?
I do, yes.
Can I actually apply one of these principles right now?
Yep.
Yep?
Yeah, come up here.
Chosen the next one, which is like a what, so what, now what.
Okay, brilliant. Look at this.
We in Navarro Biotech have run an ecological initiative called the Desert Guardians, because, which is the second part of this principle, looks like plastic pollution kills about 15% of camels over there. And the third part, now what? What can you do? Like what we can do, and what actually encourage you to do. Join our community. Subscribe for the Telegram bot, which is called the same, and help us and help make this like a positive impact and create a really nice legacy afterwards. How to join? There is like a QR code on the door. Please scan it and enjoy. At least you will get a really nice, fantastic pictures of like these desert guardians. We are like
You see that? That was like just the very act of him doing it. By the 15th, 20th, 30th time, it will be beautiful. Genuinely, another round of applause. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Yes, any questions? All questions are beautiful questions, by the way. Yes.
Thank you, Maher, for coming to talk today. We appreciate all your insights.
Of course.
Want to ask something? So you said there's a fear of talking, right? But how can you be scared if you're supposed to be the person that's like the most SME, right? You've got the most knowledge when you're like brought in for public speaking, right? Because that's the reason people brought in, is because you have something that the audience wants to know and people think that you can teach something. So how do you overcome this fear when you're supposed to be the most knowledgeable person?
This is a good question. For those who didn't hear, the last part, just that's really the main potatoes is how do you conquer it, the fear, if you, that's the situation, right? How do you conquer that fear?
Yeah, because you're like I said.
Because you're the expert.
You're the expert.
Yeah, okay. So I was never an expert. I was not the expert when I first started. I became an expert. Okay? It's like when you're building a home, metaphorically speaking, you build the foundation, right? Then you build on top of it rods and floor and 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 all the way to the top, and you have a skyscraper. That's the idea. First, you have to decide you're going to build that building. So I implore you to decide, I'm going to conquer the fear of public speaking or the fear of speaking. That's it, right here, right now. I'm not going to wait, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. I'm doing it now. Just now. You're going to go home, you're going to start the journey. You're going to start that journey. And as you begin that journey, you're going to learn insights. I'll share with you a very powerful metaphor that I personally feel I've used countless times with my sales prospects, is the Mount Everest metaphor. And I believe it can answer your question. So Mount Everest metaphor, basically, prospect comes to me and says, yo, I want to use this product, I want to use this, I want to get here. That's this summit. Fair? You guys all follow with that? Right? And I say, Mr. Customer, before we get to the summit, don't we first have to go to base camp 1? Okay. Well, base camp 1, I have a few questions for you. I want to understand your situation, your challenges, what's going wrong here. And maybe we can help you with our solution, right? And now this is, hopefully it answers the fear question. Now base camp 1 is the initial, let's consider the decision. Get to base camp 1, I'm gonna start my journey of public speaking. Now base camp 2 is always higher than base camp 1. Always higher. Now what does base camp 2 give you? Visibility. Now I can see things that I didn't see before. Got my point? Now base camp 2 is like, oh, wait a second, there's body language techniques that I have to learn. Okay, well what's base camp 3? Now the journey gets exciting because you want to get to the summit. Oh wait, there's storytelling? There's a character here? Oh, I have to use climax? Oh, I get the conclusion here. Now I can understand public speaking better. I get to base camp 4. Oh, wait a second. People get paid for this? Right? Like, base camp 1, I didn't know specifically this. Base camp 1, I didn't know Peter Legge existed. I didn't know Patricia Fripp existed. Genuinely. The way I got to learn about Peter Legge was, I was preparing for a keynote, and I was reading the book by Jane Atkinson. She was writing I think, keynote speaker. And I see his name, that he mentored her. So what did my curious mind do? I started Googling Peter Legge. I found him on LinkedIn. I mean, he owns Canada-wide media publishing company. He's not obviously on LinkedIn. Ashley, his assistant at the time, got my email, my note. And literally I said, I'm an aspiring speaker and author, and I would like to just sit down with you 15 minutes to learn tips and tricks. He invited me to his office. 15 minutes. I asked one question. I said, what's the dress code? And he said to me, that question is incredible. And only a select few asked that. Genuinely, what he said to me was, I've erased my entire day for you. I'm here 6 hours. And I stayed from 3 o'clock to 8 p.m. And he started the session by saying, what do you want to know? And I said, your story. I want to become a professional speaker. I don't know how, and I want to write a book. How do you do it? And the journey began. So don't worry about becoming a professional, an expert, right? The expert is the result of all the work you put in. Does that answer the question?
Yes, the question is
brilliant. Yes?
You wrote a book.
Yeah.
Right? And you're a public speaker, and now the books are not really on, people are buying it. So what was the thought process? Why not create a podcast? Why not be able to engage on that yourself?
Ask it in a different way. I didn't get the question.
I'm saying, what was your inspiration and your thought process of writing a book? When today in the world, right now, people are not so much involved in reading books or buying books in a way.
Okay, good question.
And you are yourself a public speaker, so why not create a podcast yourself and be able to engage in that sense?
Good question. Good question. Here's all I'll answer you. Not everybody listens to podcasts. There's some readers out there. Patricia told me one word. She said, readers are leaders. Right? Most of the successful people have a huge library at home. Maybe some people want to hear me live. Some people just want to read my words. There are some speakers I never met in person, but their words and their books left a profound impact. I don't always read like I used to, because work gets a lot involved. I aim for a book a month. At one point when I was so like just obsessed with the idea. I was doing 1 or 2 books a week. I was just either audio booking the thing or I'm reading on the train back home, vice versa. Of course, today's digital time has changed. I've been asked more and more. I'm sure you've Googled me and you've seen like, oh, Maher doesn't have a podcast. How this is just insane. Correct. But that's the thing, right? Like, I'm still learning. I'm still finding what's the best way to touch as many people in the best way. And one of them right now is with a book. I do interviews. Sometimes I get on TV and stuff, and maybe 2 million people are alive and they watch. So it could be hitting somebody like this. I don't know. But the journey is to keep going. And someone asked me, I don't know who, I can't remember, what triggered this whole thing here. And I'll share with you guys is, genuinely, I just want to inspire, hopefully 1 million people by the end of all this, to become better leaders through masterful public speaking. That's really the mission statement. And maybe books is one, podcasts could be in the pipeline, maybe YouTube as well. But God, you only have 24 hours. I'm trying to find, I just became a dad 6 months ago as well, so thank you. So it's hard to, does that answer the question?
I mean, only why I'm asking as well is because public speaking is sort of for those people who are either on their way out of college, university, and getting into their practical lives.
Correct.
And they are trying to present themselves to the market or to the people, right? And they themselves are, especially in today's time and age, books for them is.
You're right.
Not
absolutely.
And with this, what you're saying is that you're targeting those people who have already achieved something, who have already accomplished a lot of stuff. And because I mean, I've seen this thing. A lot of public speakers are writing books, and it sort of makes me like question around it that why do they write books? Who's reading them when they themselves are just they want to be heard?
Yeah, let's do a quick survey. How many of you here read books?
Oh,
that's
wow.
But okay, let me ask this. How many read books on PDF?
Yes, you read.
That's the thing.
That's a discussion for another day. Right?
Yes.
Get it published elsewhere.
This is where I'm like thinking.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Maher.
Hi, Suzanne.
I'm an infrequent attendee of this wonderful community. I just want to address the point the gentleman's making. So, I mean, I think, first of all, I don't read books, by the way. I'll be the first to say it. My wife reads a lot of books, so she reads enough for the whole village. But she tells me that I should read because I'm dumb without reading a book, right? People who don't read books miss out on a lot of the thought that goes into writing. So I think there are a few thoughts that I have. I've read a lot of books growing up. My father wrote a book. It's very important. People have read it and referenced it for historical facts. One, I think writing a book has much more prestige than any other media format. It creates legitimacy because somebody put time and effort into actually creating that as an artifact of their life. Number two, I think there's a sense of accomplishment for the author as well, that you've been able to achieve something that actually puts your thought into words, which is very important because it's self-validation. But also I think that there are other formats that are very easy to distribute, and I agree, Nick, you're saying that some of the people that come into the workforce now, they're young, but just 2 weeks ago we're part of the Hub 71 program, and there's a bunch of accomplished founders with me in the room, and many of them we were having a workshop with somebody who was actually talking exactly about the same thing, about public speaking, about getting up on stage, pitching, etc. And many of them were resistant. Many of them were saying, well, just because I'm the CEO of the company doesn't mean I should have to get up and go and speak. And so there was a lot of resistance, and I'd say at least maybe 30-40% of the people are actually in that same frame of reference. And I speak a lot. I speak publicly. I pitch, whatever. I'm not afraid, but I've gone through my own journey like you, and it's debilitating, but you do it. But I thought it was very interesting because these are people who've raised tens of millions of dollars, but they're not comfortable speaking in public forums, right? And so they're challenging the idea that they shouldn't have to do it because they have earned their place not to do it. I mean, it presents an opinion, but I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether you're a new graduate or you're an extremely seasoned professional. Ultimately, there's a media and a format that will be consumed by you in order to achieve that goal. And if it's something that you want to do at a time that you want to, then you'll do it. Otherwise, you won't, and that's the end of that.
Yes, the final question for the day. I'm sure everyone wants to go out and go to the evening. It's the weekend. Yeah, so final question.
I want to know, like, do I need to change my voice or my pitch voice for in specific individuals? Like, do I need do I need to pitch my idea? Does my voice pitch need to change? Like, for example, for friends or for co-workers or for putting like VC capital, telling them my story?
Valid point. I don't know. I think the more authentic you are, the more easily it will resonate. Just be who you are, man. That's it. Right? Be who you are, be confident in who you are, you're fine. I mean, everyone else is taken. Right? So I just encourage you, like, you're one of one. So you have a skill set, you have a unique idea, vision, whatever it is. Go out there and tell the world about it. I mean, imagine if for a second Steve Jobs said, I'm too scared. How many of you have an iPhone? Half the room, right? But, or yeah, more Android here, right?
So let's go one question.
Final one.
Going to take
Yes,
long.
I agree.
Kick it out.
Yes. Can you like show the previous slide? Yeah. Where is your jacket store?
My jacket store.
Where is it? All of them.
Oh, thank you.
Custom made, bro. Custom made.
Actually, this was, yes. Yes, this was. But that one, that suit, actually, I got from Canada.
The closest one, yeah?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoy the evening, guys. Thank you all for joining us today. And we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.